Hello, everybody, and welcome to Week 6, Day 2 of your Academy LCS broadcast. I'll be your host of the Academy channel for the day. You can call me Kangas. And joining me, I have Joshi, and for the first time ever, I got Desrix on the desk with me. Desrix, how's it going, man?
It's going great. I've been waiting for this moment, Steve. I've been waiting for all too long. We spend all our time working out together, playing D&D together, arm wrestling together, but finally, now on the desk together, Steve.
This is funny because I can't remember the last time you came over to my gym. I don't know, Eric. Do we work out together? Do we?
Wait, Kangas, I thought that you were always lifting with Eric.
I got my pass. I had COVID recently. I was recovering from that. You gotta give me a little bit of a break there, Steve. I was doing okay.
All right. All right, well, I know what our weekend plans are. Joshi, if you can get a plane ticket, feel free to join in.
Yeah, I'll drive down.
Yeah, you'll come, the 7-hour drive or whatever that is.
But of course,
we will be closing out our Week 6 Academy broadcast, and there's one team in particular that is chasing what could be their first ever perfect week, and that is Evil Geniuses Academy, slowly creeping up the standings. Joshi, this is a team, Surdy said coming into the week, if they don't 4-0 this week, it is a bad look going into Proving Grounds.
Oh, true. And Evil Geniuses, they've seemed to have figured something out, right? Because they have had a lot more success in recent weeks. I always expected this team on paper was going to look quite strong, but now it finally seems as though the pieces are starting to work together. And Evil Geniuses, this is their chance, right? FlyQuest has been on a bit of a slump, and Evil Geniuses are primed and ready to take them down.
Yeah, they've been looking so good lately. It's been quite the upswing coming out for Evil Geniuses, and now they're facing off against FlyQuest, a team that's been on a downswing, so they'll see if they can bring it up at the end of the season. I want to throw back to the start of this split, Josh, where you were saying this team was going to be in your top 3. You said they were going to turn back, and you know what, Josh? I actually want to give you credits. They're not getting towards the top, towards the end of the split, but they're coming back really, really strong, so I still think you deserve some points on that one, Josh.
Yeah, we'll take partial credit.
Joshi will take partial credit for how Evil Geniuses do it. I think
not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. But I will take a little bit of partial credit. You can give me like a 25% on that one.
Okay.
Like, they're starting to look better than they did at the beginning. It was a really rough period. I know Magical had some really harsh words for this squad, but something changed in their break week, and ever since then, they've had more... it's feeling like they're more relaxed. They've had a game plan that they all agree upon, and that has allowed all these disparate pieces to finally come together.
It's cool because if they 2-0 FlyQuest today, if they get their 4-0 week, they're now tied with FlyQuest in the standings and are actually pushed into that top 6 conversation. Even though we don't have playoffs anymore in the Academy scene, all 10 teams will go into Proving Grounds. It is still cool that, if we had this top 6, bottom 4 kind of cutoff, they would be in that top conversation.
And it's still good to dodge the play-ins on top of that as well. You don't want to go through that extra step.
A single elimination best of 3 can be pretty rough to start out Proving Grounds. But the team that is currently at the top of the standings, Team Liquid Academy, baby. They are on fire right now. And we actually had a special guest, I don't know, content writer, if that's what we want to call them. We got to credit them at some point. They got a check in the mail coming. But Rafa actually noticed a certain fan message that we want to run.
You ready? New Team Liquid Anthem. Shout out to Honey Lemon Tree 3. Game 1. We've got the Zeri. Yawn on her. It's very scary. Respect for a good adversary. Better stop saying you're Hail Mary. You're stationary. Y'all's legendary. Remember we are extraordinary. You're cautionary. Ill is a visionary. Great screen even in your sanctuary. You're temporary. Harry's luminary. Barely a mark on our itinerary. You're ordinary. Our mayor's honorary. We'll send you back to a cemetery. You're secondary, and Bradley's dignitary. Make our actions less extemporary. Your victory is only imaginary. While the TL fans are very merry. Favored in the commentary, that's right. And soon, they'll publish your obituary.
Incredible stuff. Incredible stuff.
Incredible.
Rafa, I gotta say though, his flow, I think it was a little lacking. I'm not gonna lie. I'm calling out Rafa on this one. I think he can learn from Magical. So Rafa, I'm gonna show you how to actually break it down here. All right, let's bring back up the lyrics. So in this middle part, Rafa, you got to go hard on it, okay? You kept the same tempo the entire time. That's not breaking it down. You're stationary, as legendary. Remember, we're extraordinary. You're cautionary, it was visionary. Gray screen, even in your sanctuary. You're temporary, we're luminary. Barely mark on your itinerary. You're ordinary, I'm here's honorary. We'll send you to a cemetery. Come on, Rafa.
There
what
you
are
go.
you doing?
Kanye Midwest, bring you hot. Let's go. Let's
You
go.
gotta speed it up in the middle part, but otherwise that was a
Gotta get in
fantastic
there.
message.
Steve, it's summer, man. You can't heat it up this much. What's going on?
All I'm gonna say is I didn't bring any of the heat. That was all Honey Lemons. So thank you, Honey Lemon. That's the first ever rap anyone's written about an academy team. So we just wanted to give you a quick shout out.
It's not the
It's
last.
not the
We
last.
already
Is there a
know.
part 2 coming? Do we know?
We don't know about that. Happy Lemon Tree can do it, but anybody else, start sending them to @PathToLCS on Twitter. Austin, our socials guy, will send it to us, and we will do your renditions. But I know there's more coming. There's plenty more rap coming. Don't worry about it.
We gotta like make a Proving Grounds rap at this point. Like we need to get everybody together. Maybe like Darshan can sing. He can get a verse in. Diamond can produce it. Ooh.
Ooh.
All right. Let's start talking about this. But outside of the Team Liquid Academy hype that's been going around, there's also some hype with some promotions in LCS this weekend. Spawn from Dignitas Academy is actually moving up to the LCS to play, and we have Neo playing in Academy. So to celebrate Spawn getting an opportunity on the LCS stage, Joshi, you and Kobe actually sat down and gave some of your thoughts on the player in preparation for the weekend.
The announcement that Dignitas would be starting Spawn this week was very exciting for Joshi and I. So we decided to put together a short video talking about Spawn's highlights in Academy. The first thing to know about Spawn is he's a naturally gifted teamfighter. In this clip, down 8k gold, IMT makes one mistake and Spawn punishes, deleting Gwen while dodging every cast of Needlework. From there, Spawn takes targets one at a time, and flashes to make a big play onto Pretty. It's just a stopwatch and an unraveled Earth that stops Spawn from unraveling IMT's entire gold lead. But his positioning and ability to DPS in fights is consistent. While Spawn's usually opted to be safer in fights, we've also seen him find more windows to go in. In this late game scenario against Golden Guardians, he maximizes his DPS as Kaisa until he finds the perfect chance to delete the Ezreal in the backline. Cap this off with baiting Corki into his death, makes for an easy late game teamfight and Nexus falling in favor of Dig A. Expect consistent performances and few positioning errors from Spawn in teamfights. Now to Joshi with more on how Spawn has improved his laning.
Since his joining of Dignitas Academy in 2021, Spawn has made marked improvements in his ability to play as a marksman. No longer is he simply the incredibly reliable AD carry that we always knew him to be. He is now stepping up, making aggressive plays, and creating win conditions for Dignitas. Coordinating with Mama Bear, his longtime duo partner JJ, Spawn has begun taking more risks because of his confidence in coming out ahead in the plays. Because of this, his first blood rate has increased from 19% in spring to 27% in summer. Like, this is against tough opponents like Tomo and Diamond, Carry and Smoothie, Misha Breezy, and even Yon and Ayla. Trevor Spawn Taylor was already on my shortlist for most valuable prospect candidates, and as he continues to blossom into an aggressive playmaker, Spawn is absolutely ready to play in the LCS.
I love it when Academy players get an opportunity to move up to the LCS, and we love to take the opportunity to celebrate any player that gets that chance in Deserix when we look at Spawn as a player. We already heard Joshi's thoughts. I want to give you the opportunity. Quick thoughts, what it means for a player like Spawn to get this opportunity.
Oh, it means so incredibly much. He's been grinding for quite some time, and honestly, Spawn and JJ have been a lane that's kind of been slept on in comparison to a lot of these other Academy bot laners, so it is so pleasing to see him finally get his comeuppance and head up there to the LCS.
Yeah, we know. I said yesterday I already thought that Spawn was a stronger marksman than Neo, so if you guys have been watching the LCS as well, keep your eyes out. He's definitely a much more aggressive player when the time calls for it, and Spawn will have a bright future. I already said, he's on my shortlist for MVP, most valuable prospect. We'll see if he lives up to the hype.
And speaking of Joshi, I'm happy that you gave me the perfect segue for that, because that's what we wanted to highlight next. A little teaser like we did last split in the spring. For anybody who's not aware, the most valuable prospect is an award that we give out last spring. Not to toot our own horns, but I think we chose a good one with Dokla receiving the award, and now he's playing in the LCS this summer for CLG Academy, or rather CLG proper. Now we want to open the conversation a little bit. Remind everyone what the MVP trophy is, what it looks like. It is a beauty, first of all, but it also signifies. It's a little sharp. It is a little sharp, Joshi. This signifies that you are ready for that next step. Maybe not immediately right now, but within 2 years, this is the criteria for somebody that we expect to get the most wins from the academy system as they move into the LCS. And Deserix, that's a big kind of maybe weight to put on somebody's shoulders, but also expectation for us as broadcasters and fans.
It's a lot because we're trying to look at their future projected path, right? It's really hard to see that coming into the future, but some of these, you don't have their established skill ceilings really noticeable. Some of them seem oh so high, so we're still really swinging a little bit wildly here, trying to figure out who's going to be the next valuable prospect, but these players definitely making it a little bit easier when you're seeing the new talent that's been arriving in Academy.
Swinging wild, but all with our own opinions on it.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, we wanted to give our short list of front runners that we have already. All of us on the broadcast gave one name that, in our opinion, is leading in that right now. Now, of course, there is still today and all of next week before we give our final votes on who we think earns the award. But let's go over our votes so far of the broadcast. My front runner, for example, 100T's Academy, Busio. This is a support player that I think he's so young in his career. This is only his second split after lane swapping from mid lane, and we've already seen that he is up there in at least the top 3. I don't think anybody would have him below top 3 in supports in Academy right now, and some would even argue he has the opportunity to take that #1 spot from a player like Ayla.
I mean,
That's mine. That's my argument. Joshi, let's hear yours.
Well, I gotta say, Busio ranks himself #1. He did a tier list yesterday of all the supports that he had
did.
in the Academy. But as we move on to the next one, my #1 is Ayla. And Ayla is a player that I think it's criminal that he's still playing in Academy. This guy is top 3 at worst, a top 4 support if you were to play in LCS today. He's been looking so strong. If it was just a most valuable player award for the entire season, it's undeniably Ayla. The only question is, how much more are we going to see him grow? Will he ever be an LCS MVP? And that is the only thing, I think, preventing this from being a unanimous decision.
It's funny because when we first discussed the MVP award, we said most valuable prospect, not player, not who's best in Academy, but who's the best prospect to make the jump to LCS and in 2 years' time get the most wins under their belt. And I think Ayla hits both of those boxes, kind of like Dokla did last split as well. But Deserix, who do you have as your front runner so far?
You know, looking at your guys, it kind of reminds me of that meme that Cubby was posting earlier. You know, hello, open up here. Let me introduce you to the Church of Busio. And I like your response to that, by the way, Josh, putting that little picture of Ayla on the side. My personal one, I'm not going for the supports. I'm going in the jungle role. I'm going to look at Will as my personal pick for MVP. He's been blazing a lot of the competition with the 4.2 KDA. He's been great at bringing that success that he's been doing with the power farming in the jungle and taking it to the lanes, as he is the most damaging jungler when it comes overall to every other jungler in Academy itself. You know, you can argue he's been defaulted a lot onto Wukong. It's definitely his most played 10 games so far, but even when he's pushed off of it, his Lee Sin, his Graves, his Lilia, he had a lot of fun in week 3 with Zac. He still looks good on it.
I got a meme that comes to mind as soon as I hear this, right? Kangas and I looking at Busio and Ayla, and I know based on what we're going to see from some of the other players, it's likely going to be the same thing. But Eric's over there. We got the 2 girls fighting. Eric's sitting there having a good time, you know?
Just enjoying the show right now. Like, I got the jungler. I think the Eric's more so than ours really factors into that 2-year span, because I think Will has a lot of room to grow. He has a really high ceiling when I look at this player, and I don't think that we've even seen close to what he's capable of. But that's our thoughts on this broadcast. Let's take a look at what the other stream on Path to LCS and their opinions are. Any surprises here? Mazel says Ayla, Cubby says Busio. Okay.
Wow.
So we got 2 in each of those. Again, these are not actually our final votes. This is just where we're at right now in week 6 going into the final day. And Magical is Breezy. Interesting. And of course, Rafa's got XU. I feel like Rafa's going to be an XU fan till the day he dies.
And I feel as though XU, if you ask me in spring, he's definitely top, you know, on the top side of my list. I think he was a fantastic player in spring, but I think he's just now starting to come out of his rut. Ever since Belveth was released, his plans have been looking quite a bit better. But Breezy is the one that's been really surprising me, and I feel as though Breezy has had one of the best splits that we've seen him as a player here in summer. but how much more growth are we going to see? And Magical seems to think he has a lot.
I like the fact that Breezy was picked. I mean, when Breezy was paired along with Luger at the start of this, there was a question of how much was this Luger boosting CLG at the end of things,
the
right?
Luger boosting service, I think is what Cubby called it.
But I mean, once Meech came in, he slotted in perfectly. As I said, Breezy had a lot of time to scrim with Meech before they were able to come together. And Breezy, well, he's looking great, bringing Meech all the way to the forefront and making him stand out as marksman. I think Breezy's fantastic.
A lot of support picks, I think, which is good news for North America, which, you know, you look at historically, a lot of times we look at support as one of the roles that we don't often have like a deep pool of talent in. But with that said, that's everybody on the broadcast. Rafa threw his in as well, but I hear that Sierra also called in her front runner. So let's take a look at who Sierra had as her pick.
All right, it is my pick for most valuable prospect, and let me tell you, there's so many great players in Academy that I had a really hard time deciding. I VOD reviewed, I stat checked, I crunched the numbers until I came up with one logical conclusion. Pulling a name out of a hat. See who we get. Most valuable prospect, Bradley. Let's go. Best player, watch out. 2024, going to be an absolute beast.
Oh, okay, Sierra. All right, respect.
Bold move. Bold decision making.
Wait, I just got blindsided by something. What just happened right now? Did I just see Academy Doug Trio?
I've heard multiple stories of how Sierra picked her, so I guess she's going with Bradley from a hat. I also heard that she just asked Kelsey who Kelsey's front runner was, and then Kelsey gave it to her. Either way, we love to have everybody's opinions on the broadcast. I like pulling from a hat more, though, personally. I think that's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of very talented players, right? And I feel as though, well, for me, there's definitely two front runners. There's a lot of players that I feel deserve more mention that LCS players should know about because they could play in LCS in the future. We just have to decide on one or two of them that we think are the best.
Yeah, and another role swap as well for Bradley. Just fun fact, was a mid laner before. Let's take a look at the schedule ahead of us, though, so we can catch everybody up on all of the action ahead of us. This will be first on twitch.tv/academy. You'll have 3 best of 2s ahead of you with Immortals versus Golden Guardians kicking off the day. Team Liquid Dignitas on the second block, and 100 Thieves versus Cloud9. All the Academy squads you'll find on twitch.tv/academy, but make sure you pull up on a second monitor, second tab, however you want to do it. CLG versus TSM and FlyQuest versus Evil Geniuses on twitch.tv/path2LCS. You don't want to miss any of the action, and that's how you're going to catch it all. And hey, Joshi, if anybody was confused or surprised by that schedule, it's probably because you're not following a certain Twitter account. Does any come to mind?
Yeah, I think so. We've been seeing quite a bit. They flashed one of their tweets on top of us just a moment ago. So if that's the content you're looking for, if you want more schedules, make sure you follow Path to LCS. It's going to be that way. Yeah.
Yes.
Other
this
direction.
way, right below, where you can find silly images, like whatever they most recently tweeted, which I hear was actually hilarious. But outside of funny tweets, you can also check out all the schedules and everything going on, not only in Academy, but also in Proving Grounds and the amateur circuit in general. But in particular, I think that we have one specific image that we wanted to highlight here to really give you a taste of what you'll get by following twitch.tv or Twitter Path to LCS.
Yeah,
I think you look good.
We are homogenizing a little bit. We don't have enough bearded bald dudes on the broadcast. And so I feel like I really need to bring my hat into the ring because I need it to keep my scalp from sunburning.
I'm glad
Eric,
to see
how do you feel about this?
I feel so great about this because, you know, we have an LCS Doug Trio. We don't have an Academy Doug Trio yet, Josh.
Ooh.
This is a sign that you should just commit to it. You don't need any special graphics. Just get the Clippers, Josh. Get the Clippers.
Oh, no.
All right, who did it better, Kobe or Joshi? That's what we need to hear now. Who rocks a bald cap better? I, for one, am not a fan of this Deathwings because they're stealing our look. Okay, this is an earned look. You can't just come in and take it from us. I mean, if you feels inauthentic. All right. Well, with that said, let's get into our discussion for the first matchup of the day. We're done with the pre-show. Now we can actually start focusing on our first 2 teams. Immortals Academy versus Golden Guardians Academy. Immortals progressive with their roster. They have, unfortunately, title of a 5-loss streak right now, and Deserix, is this going to be a good opportunity for them to try and turn it around?
You know what? Realistically, this is the best chance they have at a late run to avoid the play-ins for the Proving Grounds. You know, they're 7th place right now, but what? They're going against Golden Guardians, a team that's been struggling as well. Very next week, they're going to go against TSM, Evil Geniuses, Dignitas. They have a lot of potential in those matchups to make a comeback, but it all has to start up with this match here.
Yeah, 5-loss streak, all 0-2s, so not even tied series
And do
there.
you know what the last 2-0 was? Golden Guardians. Yeah.
Yep, it's the matchup we got right now. I
This
mean,
is their opportunity.
we shouldn't be too harsh on Immortals over this 5-series losing streak because they had to play 100 Thieves, Cloud9, CLG, and Team Liquid. Those are our 4 top teams that are already there, right? We should be expecting a lot of these losses to come through, but Immortals, I mean, it got pretty dismal, right? Pretty even called out. Does anybody know what winning feels like? And it's just like, ooh.
Yeah.
We think they can turn it around, but ooh.
Pretty's got some of the funniest tweets after losses I've seen in my life, but the player from Immortals Academy Progressive that we want to highlight is actually Vital in the top lane. And the reason for it is because last time these two teams went up against each other, it was a bloodbath up there, Deserix.
Yeah, it was an absolute bloodbath. They were back and forth with their solo kills, but I think this is a really fun matchup going between Vital and Concept onto this one. Now, Vital has been this player who's been developed a lot more by Immortals, has no competitive experience prior to this, but he's been developing quite well. They've been pushing his champion pool. He's gone to 11 unique champions so far, getting somewhere in the middle of the pack when it comes to that diversity of champions, and he's been a great team fighter, as you can see right there. He shows up in a lot of these later halves of the team fights and really brings a lot of the pain. You can see right here, some of those solo kills we were talking about, we're going to have a lot more of those. And yeah, as I was talking about, this matchup, too much fun, too good. Vital has been developing well.
And we'll see how he ends up shaking out towards the end of the season, right? As one of our newer players, we always come in with low expectations and high hopes. And I feel like Vital has really kind of exceeded some of the expectations that we had, right? He's actually been a much better team fighter than a lot of us were looking at. But now as they are trying to come out of their losing streak, they don't have a whole lot more to go, and they still want to try and find their way towards that top 6. Vital can really be a difference maker if we see continue to level up.
Immortals are close. Same with Evil Geniuses Academy. Both of these teams, if they get 2-0s, they have that opportunity to get into that top 6. But they got to do it against Golden Guardians. So let's talk about Golden Guardians Academy. This roster has been struggling, I think is maybe a light way to put it, so far in this summer split. They are currently in last place with a singular 2-0 under their belt. Joshi, what's the silver lining for Golden Guardians Academy?
They have a new mid laner. They are looking a little bit better, right? They're trying to make plays happen, and even though they had a 0-2 yesterday, there's still hope for this team. It's all about the development between now and Proving Grounds. The results no longer matter. They are 8 games behind FlyQuest, so a single FlyQuest win puts them in the bottom 4. So just play your hearts out, right? This is your time to start learning how to play as a team.
It is a damn shame that they've taken so long to get all their starters in and get this roster into the shape that it's in right now. You know, their season is starting to look pretty much over. I think at this point it's more about focusing on the development of what you have right now. Getting Prismal to shine out in that support role. Getting Lider to click a lot more with the rest of the group. You know, I think your focus is more onto Proving Grounds now if you're Golden Guardians.
Now, I will let you know, because I think you're making the same mistake that Mark did. Leader is not Spanish.
I still do it. I still do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's committed. But let's take a look at Concept and some of the gameplay that we noted from his last time up against Vital, because a reminder, it was a bloodbath between these two.
A ton of solo kills coming out between Concept and Vital, right? This is Concept coming through in the 1v2, but Concept has also been one of these players that has a very wide champion pool, and going up against Vital, who has been one of the weakest laners statistically, who is lowest in, I believe, CSD, gold difference, and unfortunately has not had a great opportunity to showcase some of his laning prowess. Concept is now in a spot where I actually favor his laning phase, which is not true against most of the rest of the Academy top lane field, and Concept here, because he always has so many champions in his champion pool, he plays so many unique things, he can really threaten a newer player by getting a matchup that his opponent is not prepared for.
Yeah, and laning phase is a great thing to bring up because that is where I feel like Vital struggles the most. Concept, the last time we saw these two teams go against each other, Immortals and Golden Guardians, Concept basically won the matchup by just controlling the wave and not allowing Vital to get too much farm. When we saw Vital get ahead, it was off of team play and side lane control and utilizing that, but Concept does have that laning down pretty well when it goes into this matchup.
I think we saw the I don't want to make any definitive statements, but the most solo kills between a Jax and a Garen of all time in their last match against each other. Partly because nobody plays Garen in it, but that is Concept in a nutshell. He will play champions that you're not prepared for. So let's see what he has cooked up for us, because pick and ban for game number 1 is ready. So for the first time today, I'm going to pass it over to Desworks and Joshi for game number 1.
All right, thank you, Kangas. And the battle at the bottom right now between Immortals and Golden Guardians. Really, really itching for wins onto this one, Josh. But where is it going to be acquired in this draft? I'm hoping for some spicy picks because we got Concept, we got Chad, and they like to go spicy.
Yeah, and you called out the last time Immortals actually got a winning series where they got a 2-0 was against Golden Guardians. That was all the way back in week 4. I guess it's not that far away. We're in week 6 right now, towards the end of it. But we are coming towards the end of the season. Yeah, Immortals does still need to find some of these wins in order to try and push up, right? They are not that far behind actually finding their way to the 6th place, but it's, you know, it's starting to get a little bit more dire. So Immortals, as we start seeing them come through with the bans, they do actually have to go up against not just Concept, but also their new star in the mid lane, Leader, came through yesterday twice on the Sylas.
So many marksman bans coming in. Lucian, Twitch, and Callista all taken off the map, as well as Zeri taken away. I'm still waiting for some of those spicy picks, though, because I mentioned this because the last time Golden Guardians have won a game, it was off a spicy pick. They grabbed the Nasus, and they beat Team Liquid with it. So Golden Guardians are very capable of some of these more quirky drafts, but first pick is going to go over to Immortals Progressive, so we'll see what they have in store.
Yeah. And just as we had a conversation, right, where Concept plays a ton of different champions, one of the other players that is well known for his large champion pool and ability to play almost anything has been Pretty. And as this Talia gets locked in, we know that it's likely to go there, and so the counter pick opportunity for Pretty is much less likely to come through. But Leader, he's only played 2 games of Sylas thus far in his very, very brief stint in Academy, admittedly, but we know him for being this strong side laner. He's not necessarily going to be winning you a lot of team fights. He's not necessarily going to be playing the mages and having the big game-defining ultimates. Instead, you can expect him to control one of the side lanes later on in the game and look for assassinations and dives onto a single member. And so Arrow and Pretty, one of the things that we've looked at with them is they've been very prone to getting caught out. So this could be a series where a Leader looks very good.
They've also been prone to snowballing some of the leads that they are able to acquire. I think this Talia does play towards that, at least so far in the early stages of the draft for Immortals Progressive. Now, Acadian kind of getting defaulted onto that Wukong duty. Now, Acadian is someone that we didn't really get to highlight too much, but he has been one of those pieces that has been making Golden Guardians look good for a lot of these early stages, Josh.
Yeah. I do want to... We will return to Acadian a little bit later, right? Because he has been instrumental in trying to make plays. But can we just call out the fact that we're talking about how Concept was going to get this cool counter pick, and he's just like, nope, nar.
Yeah, it just leaves open the Gangplank as well, something that's been highly contested, even argued as one of the best B1s to grab. So Immortals Progressive will be able to net that alongside the Talia, the very powerful picks coming out from Immortals.
Yeah. A ton of zone control already coming out from from Immortals, and Golden Guardians will need to try and find ways in. And Acadian, a fantastic flanker, but Concept is still something that he's been trying to work on. And so now he's got a good champion. He's going in what is a very light counter matchup, but is still mostly a skill matchup that is decided by the jungle presence. And so Golden Guardians, they need to figure out how they're going to actually attack these champions. And there it is, a Kali picked up for Leader. I had a couple champions written down for Leader when he first joined in. Akali was #1 in his most played all time as a professional player, and going into the Talia in the mid lane, while it's a little bit difficult in order to dodge away from the rocks, you have so many tools to actually try and get onto these relatively squishy backline.
Oh, this is so exciting right now. Leader able to pull out that Akali, and we'll see what he's able to do with that spice. He already has a pretty good front line to control a lot of these fights, to allow him to work these team fights at different angles. So we'll see if that can come true, but spicy pick on that so far. A lot of team fight coming out of Golden Guardians, a lot of zone control out of Immortals as we head into the second phase of the draft. Tom Kench can be the first man.
Yeah, a little bit surprised to see the Tom Kench ban coming up against Joey. I feel like Tahm Kench is very rarely played outside of a Senna lane because you do want to give it as much resources as possible. But Golden Guardians, there's the response coming through, because you can definitely play Senna with way more champions than just the Tahm Kench. But Golden Guardians, they still need to try and find ways to actually be a bit more aggressive, try and get into the backline. And while they have a lot of tools for that right now, it almost makes me think Array is going to try and do something a little bit different. Maybe Kaisa all over them, have an opportunity to jump directly into the team fight. And while there are enough marksmen like that in order to be aggressive, that pool's been pinched very hard.
Yeah, and that pinching continuing. So final ban comes out. Seraphine going to be taken away. So Golden Guardians, so far, they have a lot of frontline. They have the Assassin and the Akali. Now waiting for more picks to go through, as they do need to draft their bottom lane. Going to get something a little bit more safe in the Ezreal, get that mid-game spike going. So saving that support pick as the final pick on the side of Golden Guardians.
Yeah, very safe, very aggressive pick at the same time coming out for Array, right? He needs to now dance in all these team fights. He needs to be very aggressive and moving forward. And as we see this Immortal, however, they can't expect it to get locked in. It's mostly only played with Kalista, and it creates a lot of zone control if they do pick it, but that's not something Immortals are lacking thus far. They definitely need to try and find something that will give them agency earlier on in the game. And if the Mumu gets locked, what do they pair it with? What else is being played alongside it?
Yeah, waiting for this one. This is pretty intense right here. As you said, Kalista usually paired alongside with the Amumu. That's the duo we typically see, very early game oriented, can get some nasty engage on top of that. And, well, if you want something early game oriented, Kaisa is the one being hovered right now, but no, flexing this over to the Aphelios. This is a weird one.
Aphelios makes a bit more sense to me, right? The Kaisa definitely would have kind of been tacked on to the rest of the composition, and his arrow locks in the Aphelios. They grab their bottom lane. They now have not just engage tool, but a big zoning ult that they can use on the Curse of the Sad Mummy, and it gives Arrow, Pretty, and Vital a ton of space to work with. So Immortals, I feel like they set themselves up for all the things that they're looking to do in terms of just taking these very stock standard team fights, creating a lot of space for themselves. But Golden Guardians, they also have the tools necessary to try and upset the way that Immortals wants to play, and Golden Guardians, they are now being pressured to try and find flanks. They have Akali, Wukong, and Gnar, and Leona. If any of them start getting around the backside of Immortals, you peel apart the backline, and it becomes way more difficult to control that much space on the map.
Yeah, I actually like the way this is coming together for Golden Guardians as a whole. Off the thing that you just mentioned with the team fight and the flanks you can get, but of course, Array on this Ezreal. Now, when Array has shined out the most, it's usually been in mid-game team fights where he's able to position out and just space out, get good positioning, and poke out damage like that. Most famously, he did that on Jhin when he was on 100 Thieves next. Ezreal can play towards that same type of playstyle where you just try and hug the backline and get those Mystic Shot pokes. So I think this works well for Array, and he's got a very solid front line to play off of.
Yeah. But with all that said, talking about Array as well, we're going to be jumping onto the Rift. Remember, these teams are still looking for their way to get back into the standings. They're still in that learning phase. They're both trying to recover from a very tumultuous mid-season, and let's be honest, neither of these teams have been looking particularly strong. So we're going to be looking mostly at individual plays and trying to celebrate these players, because this is, at the end of the day, it's a developmental league. We want to see them do well, and while any individual game or any individual play might go awry, let's celebrate the times where they do have good ones.
And there's a lot of fun to be had in this game anyway, as we are ready to hit the rifts. Immortals Progressive versus Golden Guardians Academy. Now, is there any lane in specific you're the most excited about, Josh? Because I'm looking in two different places. I see the Amumu. I'm very excited for that one being paired alongside the Aphelios. I see Leader being on his Akali. There's so much fun to be had in this one.
Yeah, I definitely think, I mean, we've been turning our eye towards the top lane Concept versus Vital, right? That was kind of our feature matchup to start the day. Both these guys relatively new to the scene, Vital in his rookie split, but Concept, he's actually playing against his old team. This is the team that got 4th at Proving Grounds when Concept was on it. And of course, they have changed a couple of their members, right? They were playing mostly with Wild Turtle, and they have brought back Arrow. But Concept, he's very used to playing against a lot of these guys, and Concept wants to show that he's better than the person who replaced him.
If he can show that is a question of time, though, as with a lot of the top laners right now, I feel like top lane has been the most heated in Academy. We've had such
this is wild, by the way.
Yeah. Oh. Looking for something right here in the mid lane. They were really going for that early cheese on leader.
If you are looking for a team to have like crazy level 1s, Immortals are your team, right? They are going to be the ones looking for weird things. I'm actually surprised that Chad, after going to sweep out this ward, chooses not to actually go for the invade. He's going to be a little bit late. He's not going to take anything away from Acadian. But Golden Guardians, I don't think they know where Chad actually went to, so it could provide a lot of weird play coming out from Acadian.
It's a lot to be given to Chad. He's very creative with a lot of these jungle paths that he takes, Chad.
Concept.
Not the best place for Concept to be as Vital is finding quite a bit of poke very early on the Concept, setting him to 200 health already. Those Qs adding up.
Yeah, a very small thing there, but you saw Concept turn around ever so briefly, taking an extra 2 autos from that actual play. Didn't have the movement speed, and Vital now is in very strong control of the lane. I mean, this is part of why we've been looking at players like Darshan mixing it up, going with the lethal tempo, going with the hop star at level 1 in order to be a bit safer in this top lane, and also just get more auto attacks down. So Vital coming off to a pretty big early win, just understanding that, yeah, I'm Gangplank, you don't get to play this level 1 as not.
Now, I want you to look at this pathing that's coming out from Chad. He clears out his top side, doesn't even go for the bot side right now, realizes what's going on in this top lane, Josh.
Yeah, there's a potential dive, right? Because Concept got Mega Gnar so early, Vital's trying to crash the wave, and Chad's behind. Concept is in a very dangerous position.
The Mega Gnar is going to time out. Minion wave just waiting to crash into the tower. Acadian's in the right place right now. Going to respond to this, but now getting spotted out. Chad's going to engage onto Acadian instead. Send him running away, looking to steal away the Brood Dude, steal away the Golems. Vital alongside that, but Acadian just being in that spot, just pathing in that direction, actually helped out Concept so much.
Yeah, it's definitely a trade of plays, right? You are picking up all the Krugs, you're taking away a decent amount of money, and Concept also still made very uncomfortable, right? He ended up missing almost an entire wave because he was unsure if he was going to get doped there. So this is actually an early game plan from Immortals that is really cool to see. It's not something that we always knew them if their level 1 went awry. And so Immortals, Vital, doing a good job pushing around Golden Guardians at the beginning.
And this is what I was talking about earlier in the champ select. Acadian in the early stages, pathing the right way to make sure that Chad is not going to go down. But still, Chad with a very smart pathing to, skip that bottom side, to make sure he's going to play towards his power points and start putting Concept behind so devastatingly. Now pathing over towards the spot side will be both junglers pushed in for Golden Guardians.
Yeah. Because they're so pushed in, right, it gives Acadian a lot more freedom to move down towards the bottom lane. And you called out earlier a little bit, ooh, nice barrel, coming out from Acadian.
He's flashing forward, he's going for it, and he will burn down Vital. There it is, man, there it is. We keep talking about it, Josh. Keeps happening. They like the 1v1s, they like the solo kills. It's got to continue.
There you go. Vital understanding his damage and Concept. That's the second time he just comes too close. He turns around a little bit and allows Vital to this time get the kill. The first time he walked around, Concept lost too much HP, and we're seeing the results from it. Vital, now that he's this far ahead in the lane, the gangplank becomes so much scarier. And that's a lot of questions of Concept, right? Like, you come over to Golden Guardians or bring in Vital. He's already outperforming you in this game. Can Concept bounce back? Because he definitely got some solo kills back last time we saw Jax versus Garrett.
He was able to bounce back last time. Can he bounce back this time is going to be a big question because he definitely needs to. Vital is on Gangplank, and Gangplank can scale to holy hell. Especially with that cannon barrage in these early stages will be quite impactful. So far this early stage going so well for Vital. Now, where can Golden Guardians play to? It hasn't been looking good towards that top side. Acadian is pathing towards top and mid.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of interesting, right? Concept... Oh. Good damage coming through. Concept is not typically the player that I think of who plays like the most meta of champions, right? Some of his most played are Mundo, Sejuani, and Singe. But it is one of those things where I feel like Concept is typically a player that really relies on having these strong matchups and it's not like a really strong counter pick. Again, it is a skill matchup, allowing Vital to play not only one of the best champions on the patch, but one of his most played historically. Is I feel like a bit of a misplay coming through from Golden Guards, and even as Acadian comes through, they don't get him.
Yeah, they're looking for Vital right now. Cannon barrage goes down. Vital tries to turn it onto Concept, but the flash too quick for Concept. Acadian pathing towards the top will net the kill.
The outplay from Concept, getting too far away. Prismal finding Joey.
Now Joey, a wrong place to be, falls to 200 health, and Leader will take his name. Slain, Leader able to grab that first kill, and Golden Guardians having a kill lead 6 minutes in.
There you go. Golden Guardians also coming alive. I didn't believe in the gank, but Golden Guardians are better than me in concept with that flash away, making sure he doesn't go down. Golden Guardians firing right on back, and they're putting it in a perfect position, right? We were saying Acadian and Leader needed to find these leads. They need to be able to be strong enough to go for these flanks. But the big thing here is Concept immediately flashing away. Vital doesn't have time to react, and just having that understanding of how your opponent is likely to play, a robot wins that, but Leader is no robot. And this is just clean play coming through from Leader, right? Waiting for Joey to go for the flash before he uses the second part of the perfect execution, finds him that first kill. And Akali, when you find your first kill, is not the same as Akali who's just farming.
And great roaming coming out of Prismal, locking down Joey. Wrong place to be, but Prismal really getting the punish right there and making the most of it, getting Leader online. And now we got points to play from for Golden Guardians. Concept is not dead in that top lane, still surviving okay thanks to Acadian. In the mid lane, as you said, Leader already has a kill onto the Akali. Keeps netting more, he can be the one to carry this.
And Leader on the Akali, right, most played all time. He loves playing the side lanes. He navigates fights incredibly well when he gets ahead. And he's actually, even before Prismal came up top, or even before Pretty was able to get level 6s, be able to start looking for roams, Leader was winning the early laning phase, right? This is not supposed to be a particularly easy matchup. You got a lot of skill shots that can ignore the Shroud. You can push him around. Leader can't easily use the Shuriken flip to escape all the time. And Pretty not quite able to create this early game pressure. Now he needs to transition into a different way of playing. He needs to start moving around the rest of the map and showcasing that this Talia has more ways to play.
The collapse coming in here from Golden Guardians. Pretty not quick enough on the positioning to get
Everybody's
in.
coming.
But we might have a full-on team fight right now, Josh, and here it comes. Cyclone going to be initiated by Acadian. True Shot Barrage brings to the middle. Now looking for the cure onto the Rift Herald. Vital will be the first one to fall into this team fight. Leader just waiting for the next victim to hop on to, but Immortal sitting in a good spot. Here comes Array with the flank, goes on to Chad, and we'll take him down with one more Mystic Shot.
Leader again finding a kill. Watching him navigate the Akali, moving around, saving Shroud for the right time is so impressive. But Immortals still walk away with the Rift Herald. They still have a way to get some of this gold back. And as we jump into this replay, again, watch how Leader moves. He starts off, he recognizes he's on the rocks, can't go back in, makes sure he times it out before jumping in and immediately throw down the Shroud. There's so much confusion. There's so many champions on top that Leader goes in, gets out, and isn't worried about it. The only recompense coming through from Immortals is the fact that they got the Rift Herald.
He's on his Akali, Josh, and hasn't missed a beat on this champion. 2-0 early to start this one off. Leader off to the races.
And this is why, this is what we were looking at, right? We had a long conversation yesterday about how Leader is going to compare to some of our team fight mages, right? Some of our more traditional players like Insanity. Pretty has kind of been this jack of all trades that will do a little bit of everything, but not necessarily going to be a master of any of them. He's always going to be fine in all parts of the game. You notice that even though he's down a little bit, he's not the one that's died. But he's not necessarily been stepping up to make the same kind of plays to become a win condition for Immortals. And that's a spot where it can be really dangerous now that your top lane has died twice, now that your bottom lane has died, and your lane opponent, to less than mostly your fault, right? I feel like other players on Golden Guardians have punished other players on Immortals. Pretty is now still the one who has to deal with the brunt of it.
And this is only going to get worse before it gets better. Golden Guardians' composition spikes much earlier than the side of Immortals, who do have a lot of late game scaling going for them, but this is a lead to Golden Guardians right now, and we're heading towards the mid-game stage. We still got 3 minutes, 30 seconds before the plates do fall off, but Golden Guardians now circling around this Dragon Pit. Keep in mind, they do have a good amount of team fight to bring as they call down Leader, trying to get control of the bot lane. A fight breaking out between the top laners, looking for more solo kills. Josh, are we actually going to get another one? No, just harassment for the day.
Just harassment for now, but Golden Guardians are now positioning around this dragon. They see that Immortals have just backed away. They should be looking to crash away, potentially take it away from Immortals. But Golden Guardians, they are trying to make sure that Immortals remains in that losing streak, right? It's been 10 games since Immortals has found to win their last win. Again, going up against Golden Guardians, but that was when they were playing with Choose.
Didn't have leader then. Just had Choose, the coach.
They didn't even have Ryoma either.
Yeah, they didn't have Ryoma. I believe they didn't have... who's the support then? Okay, Prismal, they didn't have him. Chime was in back then.
Yep.
So yeah, this is a different Golden Guardians that Immortals are facing right now and that they're struggling against right now, but they're looking to make plays over towards this top side. Setting up the wave will be Joey.
This is an odd rotation coming through from Immortals, right? Typically, you will see the bottom lane move towards the top lane in order to play for Rift Heralds, but Rift Herald doesn't spawn for a long time. They're just trying to crash this right away, but Prismal is there to respond. I don't think Immortals will want to actually commit the Rift Herald just quite yet with so much response coming out from Golden Guardian. So they do buy a little bit of time, and Concept will probably have to teleport down to the bottom lane in order to prevent Vital from taking away too many plays, but Immortals setting a trap potentially.
Different plays over here. The response is Concept sent to the bottom lane now to go respond to Vital. So it's only going to come down to just a lane swap and then back to the laning phase as tower plates are still up. So got a minute 30 before those fall. Not too many have been cashed in so far in this game as it's mostly been fights around neutrals, little skirmishes here and there to start off this match.
Oh. The Rift Herald does get dropped. Chad showcasing where he is. Acadian not close at the moment, but can easily rotate towards the top side. So Immortals will be making a play to recover some of the gold, and despite the fact that there's a bunch of kills that have gone over to Golden Guardians, the game remains relatively even, and as this Rift Herald crashes, a kill of gold goes over towards Immortals. They might open up this tower.
Oh, they're not actually grabbing it. Here comes Prismal with the flank. Cyclone going to be activated. They're going for Arrow, and they're going to find their mark with one more Mystic Shot. Ray nets the kill. Now Cyclone continued for another knock-up. Chad hits the floor, and Golden Guardians, they're hitting the bank right now.
I hate to say it, but Immortals kind of looking a bit like Immortals LCS right now as well. The roster at both levels is struggling, and Leader
Sneaky little
throw the
ninja.
shuriken flip. Yeah, not going to be looking for it right away, but Golden Guardians just go right up the pipe, right? They didn't need to look for a flank all that much. Prismal comes around the side, throws down the ultimate, but Acadian just full sends it. That's all they needed.
Oh, Concept going after Vital. Wants to get another one of those solo kills, but Vital able to space out just enough to not be caught out. And calling out for some backup. Joey will show up in the bot lane, but taking a look at that top lane fight from earlier.
Yeah, Arrow, he's making a mistake. We've seen quite a bit, and Prismal and Acadian capitalizing on it. Arrow just too far forward, and Prismal and Acadian say, you can't do that a whole lot. But also, Eric, we haven't done our due diligence. Pretty sure we got Lauren and Andy on the observing today yet again. Want to give them a quick shout out. I don't know who's Obs 1. Let's go up and down for Lauren and left and right for Andy. Oh, it's Andy. We got Andy on Obs 1 today.
Shout out to the observers.
There you go.
We've got to love the work they do to make this broadcast great. Now Leader facing off between three members. Bandage toss from Joey with the flash. Just
You didn't think you were catching him, did ya?
Just shy. Nuh-uh.
No way. Leader gets out of that one, just throws down the shroud. And Golden Guardians feel pretty firmly in control for the next several minutes, right? They already have Array. He's got the Essence Reaver completed. It is relatively cheap, but he also has the Muramana well on the way. He's still trying to build that up, and they will be spiking very hard. And Array can't make the same mistake Arrow did. You got to give up this turret, I think.
Ooh, Joey's waiting over the wall with a Hex Splash. Not going to go through, just baiting it out for the time being. So still a tower picked up. Immortals able to net that one. It's well-needed gold, and it's only a 1K gold deficit at the moment.
It's only 1,000, right? A lot of that comes from the fact that Vital, right, is still up 600 gold, partly on account of just playing the game, playing good triple barrel, actually coming through. He does showcase the mechanics, but that's never been my criticism of Vital, right? The mechanics that he's shown on a lot of his characters have looked quite good. But Vital, when he gets a good teleport, versus Vital when he gets a mediocre teleport, is worlds of difference.
Thinking about it, that itchy trigger finger, he's looking for pretty. And with that shoved in, it also nets up a good position for Golden Guardians to grab this Herald.
Yeah, I mean, he's just testing. Ryan's like, are you going to react to this properly? I actually know, I've been playing with, or talking to like Mega Zero a little bit recently. I don't know if you remember who that is, right? Season 3 Riven player. He's playing for Marn.
Oh, that was all the way season 1, man. I remember Mega Zero. I had him on my friends list before.
Yeah, but anyway, he does the same thing, and it's kind of fascinating to watch. Both of them will kind of jump forward and they'll like pump fake you, right? Like they'll give you the quick jab and they'll see if you put up your arms to try and block. And if you don't, then you just get socked in the face, right? You're like, you always have to be ready to take these blows coming out. And I love the fact that leaders having the confidence to just go, you know, it's like, are you going to do it? Are you going to try and block? Are you going to try and jump and block my shot? Or am I going to be able to do it for free? So far, pretty fast this first test.
That's what it is, right? See it a lot in stuff like MMA where you pump fake in order to get a certain reaction. Now, Cadian looking to get a reaction on the Arrow, forces him to burn his flash, but here comes Leader, and he sees Arrow. He knows that's a target. Easy pickings for Golden Guardians.
That's twice now. Golden Guardians have picked up Arrow. This time, Arrow, he thought he was safe. He had the kill force, he had the flash, he had the cleanse, but Golden Guardians not going to let him get away with that one. Now, Golden Guardians, they're going to have to try and take this 5v4, but it's not the easiest 5v4 in the world. Pretty still has a fair amount of damage he can put out.
First of the Sad Mummy available, but it's going to be an engage coming out from Prismal. Goes in deep, but takes a lot of damage, and it's disjointed for Golden Guardians. Vital grabs one kill, Cannon Barrage goes down, and it completely zones off the Guardians from defending their support.
Yeah, and now the 5v4's on the other foot. Concept misses!
Oh, he doesn't get a good one. Curse of the Sad Mummy goes out looking for the re-engage. Will be Golden Guardians lighter. He will jump in deep, leader looking for more, but runs low in the process, and Chad will finish him off. Immortals looking for more. Golden Guardians head for the hills, and suddenly it's looking good for Immortals, but then they lose Chad.
Yo, I thought we were playing League of Legends, not running a conga line. Golden Guardians, what was that? Going in one at a time. Prismal's like, oh, me first. Red Rover. Said Prismal right over. He goes in. He's like, okay, well. The Golden Guardians are like, and so, to Immortals' credit, right, they are understanding the way that they're trying to play this composition, right? They have a lot of control over space. So, while Prismal was the first one, it's Red Rover, said concept right over.
And the next cha-cha goes out. It was just one by one. Not on the same page, but I give a lot of that to Vital, Josh. He zoned out really well with that camera.
He did a great job, right? You saw the first time that Prismal went in, the barrel catches on multiple people, and Golden Guardians cannot follow it up. And so Golden Guardians, right, that was their setup to pick up this dragon without a whole lot of contest. They were in a 5v4 situation, but Leader is going to pick up this side wave. And Golden Guardians, they try and force the issue a little bit too fast. Now, yesterday, I was saying I liked that from them. And to be honest, I still kind of do, because Golden Guardians is this team that has maybe played 2 days of scrims before they started playing on the stage, right? Leader only showed up very recently, and the fact that they are going for plays, one of the criticisms I had about Golden Guardians before, that they would try and make these plays happen, but it always felt as though Acadian would pull back at the last moment. It didn't feel as though he was ready for the rest of his team to actually make things happen, and now they're full sending.
Slamming Joey right into the wall, and an easy Mystic shot finishes off the job, but it's a 1-for-1 trade as Immortals are able to swing right back at Golden Guardians.
Yeah, but there it is, right? Full sending it, right? We are not half-assing anything this game. Golden Guardians are always going to try and make something happen, and it is now on them. It's no longer a question of can we out-macro them, it's can we out-hands them. The Golden Guardians, you know, because the first couple of interactions maybe haven't gone their way, they might be feeling a little bit skittish, but this is also a team where we know these guys are pretty mechanically strong.
Here we go. Prismal gets pulled right in through the seismic shove. Arrow nets that kill. Array runs low over the wall. Pretty. Landing it right onto Array. And now Immortals looking for the retreat as the Cyclone goes off. Picking up one will be Acadian. But Pretty gets some revenge. Concept able to return the kill. Now Vital looking to bring the damage. Gets a shot parlay right onto Array, who has to run away, realizing the damage is too much today. Vital able to get the disengage. Golden Guardians backing off.
And it's a party all over the place, right? We were looking at the dance going through. Now we get just a whole dance floor. Is everybody taking their moment?
Too fast. Vital with the quick fingers. Done? No, we're not done right now. He will flash right out.
Yeah, we're going to get more, right? I think this is probably going to be how we should expect the rest of this game, and probably next game to go as well, as both teams desperately looking for things. Immortals have always been this very scrappy team, as Chad leading the charge, but we look at who is actually strong. Array 404, picking up a ton of kills, has the most gold on the map, but at the same time, Vital starting to step up as well. He's gangplank, he's got a lot of farm. He's already picked up 4 kills for himself, and now we start to ask, how is the range going to play? Array has been pretty good at dancing around these team fights, hasn't died just quite yet, but Vital has had so much zone control that sometimes Array can't hit.
I mean, Array's positioning is on display right now, but as you said, that zone control is tough to get through. That's a big challenge for Golden Guardians to be able to try and make sure that Array is going to be safe in a lot of the back end of these team fights.
And so the one thing that we've been looking for from Golden Guardians as they stop Joey's back is how do they get the flanks to come out, right? How do they prevent Pretty and Vital from just throwing down the rocks and the barrels in the same direction and preventing any follow-up, right? Golden Guardians have so far just sent it right up the pipe, gone directly forward, frontal charge. But we need to start seeing the flank maneuvers. And now they're just starting this up, and Leader has a flank.
I think this works out okay for Golden Guardians, though, because they're at a stage where their composition is spiking. They don't need to get too creative with these flanks right now. They have the lead, and they're going to continue to push it. Out comes the Hex Flash, looking for more, starting up the Baron.
Very slow.
Out comes the Cannon Barrage. A lot of damage going on to Golden Guardians. A little bit of miscommunication going out as Prismal taking way too much damage, goes the wrong way, and gets dropped. Now down a man will be Golden Guardians, and it's prime positioning for Immortals. Concept trying to get closer, really trying to build up that Meganar form. Leader diving deep. Too low is Concept. Doesn't get Meganar in time. Baron secured. It's going to go over to Golden Guardians. Immortals going to push the rest of them right on out. But what a fight to come out. So much back and forth, Josh.
Yeah, Golden Guardian's not able to pull the trigger, but Acadian smites away the Baron underneath the nose of Chad and bonks him over the nose for good measure. But look at this, right? How do you get through these rocks? How do you get through the barrels? How do you get through the cannon barrage? Immortals are creating so much space, and the important thing here is, like, watch how Acadian, he comes into the pit and he's like, no, I don't think so. I need to leave this one. Has to commit his flash in order to get back on in, or at least... yeah, just trying to find his way. He does take down Chad. They do secure the Baron. But these kind of fights, well, I like the fact that Golden Guardians are trying to strut their stuff, right? Moving around, trying to find their way in mechanically. It does need to be a little bit more coordinated on the side. Leader had a great flank, but was never able to capitalize it because Joey warded him out.
Yeah, just that zone control alone, if you watch Prismal in that last fight, he didn't really get to engage. He didn't get to do anything but slowly walk around getting hit by the Cannon Barrage, Baron, and anything else that happened to come his way. So Golden Guardians, they definitely need to fully commit to these fights when they are able to get them. But now I'm starting to lean into what you were saying. It's coming down to more of the flank plays. This gold lead that's happened in the mid game that's spiked them well, not working as well. So let's get the flanks going, and that's exactly what they're going to do with Chad right now. Chad going invisible, gets slowed by Concept. The chase going to continue, but here comes the retaliation from Immortals. Chad survives and takes one down.
We see exactly what happens, right? Because Golden Guardians have all of these not real frontliners, they are fake frontliners. They're trying to stand up in the front. Immortals just sit there and be like, you know, it's like shooting fish in a barrel. Oh, you come over? Oh, that's looking mighty fine right there. We'll take ourselves a gnar. We'll back out. There's not a whole lot of play for Golden Guardians, just full sending it. Immortals, very happy. They have recovered from the early deficit. They were 1-4, right? Array, 4-0-5. You would think that he would be able to have a larger impact on this game, but the way that his frontliners have been playing makes it so that while he can get these cool last hits, he can maybe play around the side. He's not actually able to walk up and fight. Do they know?
I don't know. I don't think he knows.
I mean, Vital definitely knows, but does Leader know?
Ooh, Barrel? Barrel? Come here! Get back over here! Drats, it gets away again.
Yeah, also Vital, I said shooting fish in a barrel, not the barrel itself. That's not quite how it works, but I do appreciate the attempt. And now Golden Guardians, for the first time, they are out-rotating Immortals. They get themselves a mid-lane turret, but this is a front-to-back team fight. Golden Guardians don't win those.
And the scaling is now starting to come online on top of that. 2 items completed for Arrow, who's on the Cephalio, scales incredibly well. Vital has been doing so phenomenal this game and being impactful for Immortals to enable a lot of these plays. Now looking for more will be Golden Guardians as they try and set up around this mid lane, Josh. They will be successful in being able to grab it, but now the question is, where do they transfer that? Where do they transfer all that aggression to still continue to acquire a gold lead for this mid game?
Well, it's on Leader now at this point, right? Because Golden Guardians have squandered a lot of their advantages trying to make these front-to-back team fights work. It's all about these flanks, and look at this. Leader deep teleporting. Pretty's not out yet.
Reaper's wall used, but here comes Leader right over the wall. Hot tag right in, hops for Pretty, and here comes Acadian. So much to dodge away from, you can't dodge it all.
Leader once again looking good on the Akali, dodging away from the seismic shove, ignoring the rocks, able to catch him out. But it's a single kill. They don't get anything off of that. Mechanically, it looked really good. The Golden Guardians will not be able to capitalize on it, and in fact, they're going to have more damage done to their structures than they will do to their opponent's Leader. For as much credit as we've been giving him in the side lane so far, while he has been living up to the plays we knew he could do. Golden Guardians, we are seeing some growth from them already over yesterday. But is it enough to actually take them through and find the same kind of success as they did in the previous Proving Grounds, where the Golden Guardians organization got third?
It's a really tough question to answer right now. You're still taking a lot of this
Probably
time
not,
to kind of...
be entirely real.
To kind of grow back as a unit when you haven't had all the scrim time that all these other teams have had, you know. It's so late into the season that you have your technical full roster coming out for Golden Guardians. So it's a rough recovery for them. It is possible once you get into the play-ins for Proving Grounds.
Yeah.
But,
you know,
yeah.
do you remember what our worst team in the second round robin of Spring was?
Talking about 100 Thieves.
Yeah, 100 Thieves
Yeah.
look like, let's be real, in second round robin, they look like garbage, just front to back.
Here we go, going on to Joey, forces out the Curse of the Sad Mummy, but Prismal's going deeper over the wall, will be Pretty, looking for a target with the seismic shove, trying to get onto Leader, but Leader too quick. He will flash right over that wall to the rest of the Guardians. Megan R form gonna come out for Concept. Now trying to survive are the Guardians because Immortals are right on their tear. Cyclone gonna go out, looking for more, will be Array, but does he have the Mystic Shots? Does he have the feet? Does he have the hands? Answer's gonna be no as Arrow puts him down.
Who could have predicted that one? There it is. Immortals looking quite good. They are understanding how to set up their battle lines, and even with Pretty trying to make his way over, even with Joey getting caught out at the very beginning, they set up their base of operations. Arrow and Pretty playing together. It's so much harder for Leader to assassinate 2 targets than it is for assassinate 1. And even with this 4v5 that initially started when Prismal was going down, Pretty and Arrow still walking forward. They're a combined amount of damage that Golden Guardians cannot deal with. And you see, Array, he did a great job dancing, right? In a 1v4, he still picks up a kill onto Vital. But Golden Guardians, you know, what does Albert Einstein say about Insanity? Well, first off, that he's a really freaking sick Vex player. But secondly, if you keep doing the same thing, at some point you gotta ask, like, what's gonna change?
And with this now,
I don't know how Einstein knew about Insanity, but
with this now, it feels like the door is closing, Josh. It feels like Golden Guardians are losing every opportunity that they have. The scaling, it's online for Immortals. What do you do with Golden Guardians other than just constantly try to find flank plays when they're not even being allowed to you?
yeah, you gotta keep trying, right? Like,
I keep trying.
It's definitely
Just
gotta
gotta keep
get that
running
rough
it, baby.
spot. Yeah, I mean, we were looking at Concept potentially having an opportunity, but ooh, Pretty.
A little bit of a vicious seismic shove there, and Pretty's just taking it a Concept right now. Vital's gonna show up and kind of scumbag this one. Nope, Pretty will just get the 1v1. Doesn't need the help. Goodbye, Vital.
Props to Concept for playing that about as well as he could have, but man, is he poor, dude. Like, he doesn't do any damage walking around. Pretty, I mean, Concept dodged out on most of those skill shots, but he just doesn't have any money to play with. He's 1-7 at this point. He's got that Trinity Force, he's got the Black Cleaver, but there's
Itemized
3
armor.
items already coming through.
Adds itemized armor on top of that, so Pretty. Pure magic damage coming into your face. It's so rough for Concept.
So, you know, but this is the thing, right? Golden Guardians, they need to create chaos in this game. They haven't really, and so with Immortals rapidly marching towards their first win in 5 series, and this is their 6th series where they need to try and find a win. Remember, it was against Golden Guardians in week 4 that they found their wins, and it looks like history is very close to repeating itself. I feel like Golden Guardians have 1, maybe 2 more fights where they can really try and make something happen. And then after that, it's going to be all Immortals, because Immortals will just walk up to the Baron, they will create space, and dare Golden Guardians to try and fight them. And they have to do something before this Ocean Dragon actually comes up, because if Immortals get a 50-50 smite it, they can 50-50 smite Ocean Dragons over and over and over, and they just need to win one of those coin flips.
Chad. No Hex Flash, all right.
Nope,
So those
not
coin
yet.
flicks.
Chad.
Ooh.
Okay.
Looking to find those closing moments. It will be Immortals. Golden Guardians Opportunity's closing, and it's closing fast. You gotta do something. Acadian's gonna dive right onto Arrow. A double knockup going on to Arrow. Cyclone successful. Here comes Leader. Cleans up the job. Curse of the Sad Mummy goes off, but it's only gonna delay Leader as he hops over the wall and chases down Joey. Concept, Meganar ultimate onto Vital. Will take him down as Array spaces beautifully and lands those Mystic shots to take down Immortals. And Pretty, the last survivor, will he tell the tale as he tries to head for the hills? Will ride the Weaver's wall to his safety, but the rest of his team on the floor.
Golden Guardians, they finally find the flank they needed. They separated the backline from Immortals. Arrow and Pretty not able to stand on top of each other. They get separated, and now Golden Guardians, they pick up the Baron. They get another lease on life in this game. And Golden Guardians, Acadian and Array in particular, they spot out Arrow. They prevent him from moving towards the rest of the front line. And look at this. It's so hard for them to coordinate the space between the Talia and the Gangplank, who is just now arriving. Golden Guardians, they've been looking for this play the entire game. And I got to give a lot of credit right now to Acadian for isolating the individual target. He could have used a Cyclone on 3 people, but he knows he just needs to kill the isolated member. His target selection coming out here was perfect.
Josh, you were saying they had 1, maybe 2 more chances. They realize it. They got it. And they're running with it as best as they can. Baron, now acquired for Golden Guardians. They want more, though. They want to keep this momentum going. They got to deny Dragon Soul 1 minute before Dragon's going to spawn. And Golden Guardians already getting into prime position. He's setting in those deep wards into the jungle. Now, you already have the mid lane turret down, the bot lane turret down, so this allows you that extra space to get that deep vision. But it has to be set up by Golden Guardians. They have to fight for this. And more importantly, they have to win it because they don't have much left in the tank.
Exactly. Like, even more than the Ocean Dragon that they want to deny from Immortals, they want to win a team fight here. And the players that we're looking at so far, it's kind of crazy to me that I'm not really looking at Array. He's 8-1-6. He's so strong, but he doesn't have as much agency, and they're getting caught.
Oh, a catch onto Prismal. Prismal flashes away, but still gets caught out by Pretty. Now Concept on the run, has the Meganar bar already filled up, waiting to use it to pop someone into the wall. Will he land it? Leader on the flank, deep behind, going after Vital. We'll go for the dive on the Vital. Can he finish him off? The Weaver's wall going to go through. Leader flashes forward and takes down Vital. And will take another one down with them as he goes golden and makes the best out of a bad situation for Golden Guardians.
It's still a bad situation, though, right? Immortals coming right on back. The flank tools are gone. The Cyclone is available, but that's all Golden Guardians can do in order to try and find their way to Pretty and Arrow. They don't have great tools to separating the fight, but Acadian, this is a good flank.
Acadian looking for the flank. Can't find his way in. Will be a 3-on-3. Array has a lot of advantage in being able to space backwards, but look at the seismic shove coming out from Pretty. Now making this a 2 versus 3, and Acadian, realizing he doesn't have that numbers advantage anymore, will just back off with the Cyclone. Dragon still up, though.
The Immortals, remember, they are 1 away from getting the Ocean Soul. They see, or they don't see, but Acadian is nowhere nearby. Immortals do secure it finally, and Ocean Soul, I think, is the death nail. I think this is the nail in the coffin, as Immortals are so close now to picking up their first win. They are looking to break the loss streak, and Pretty, yet again, really stepping up, right? That's a couple of times now that he's caught out individual members with the seismic shove. Level 18, 4-2, and 12. I was not impressed with his early laning phase, right? Leader was definitely smacking him around there quite a bit, but Pretty, this is one of the things that he's always been able to do. He's always been able to be such a consistent player. He doesn't necessarily go for flashy things, but he will be in the right place at the right time.
Now with this Dragon Soul acquired by Immortals, it is rough tides. Definitely can't put it any other way. Array will be getting a lot of these Mystic shots. Trying to get that poke in. Dragon Soul's just going to heal it back up. That poke's not going to be as effective. Now you are pretty much just clutching on that flank that we've been talking about time and time again. Right now, Immortals are looking good. They've been so good at getting these picks before the flanks can even happen. But getting isolated out from the lane, getting pushed away. The wave completely cut. Joey not landing that bandage toss. Oh, another seismic shove. Pretty. You gotta be kidding me. Curse of the Sad Mummy goes out, and now it's hard for Golden Guardians to fight back, but they will try their damnedest. Now running away will be Acadian. Caught out almost will be Arrow, but another seismic shove goes through. It'll be another trade to be found. A pick onto Pretty, but 2 lost for Golden Guardians.
Yeah, as Pretty yet again finds Concept. Let's be real, we thought Concept could be the difference maker. Not having a good game. Immortals punishing Golden Guardians yet again. With the Ocean Soul, they walk up the mid lane. Leader's got a lot of teleport flank wards to potentially go to. This might not be as safe as they think it is.
This Leader walking up. It's still going to be an easy take of that ward. It's going to be much tougher to continue the siege here, so easily going to back off is going to be Immortals. Now Immortals really fighting it out here. It's been wild picks coming out from Pretty, Josh. He's been so good with these seismic shoves so late into the game, just giving Immortals such a chance to fight back.
Yeah, I remember one of the early montages we made. Oh, Chad.
Oh, Chad caught out. Will use the ultimate to get away from Acadian, but it's a double cyclone.
Flash.
Looking for more Prismal on the chase. Does not have the solar flare. A little bit more damage. Looking to give that kill over to Leader, but Chad.
Oh, he's out.
Chad walks out, Josh. He actually gets away.
Absolutely crazy that he's able to live there, right? That was Golden Guardian's potentially best way back into the game. If you kill Chad right as the Baron is spawning, they have their way to fight, but Chad not going to get caught out this time, not going to be making the same mistakes. IMT have been in this position before. They've been in such powerful spots in so many of their games. But Arrow, Chad, sometimes they go a little bit too far, and their opponents are able to capitalize. And now Leader committed his teleport to try and make that happen. Leader and Acadian still the players I want to watch, the players that need to make these plays happen. They're the ones who need to find the flanks. Don't flank Joey, that's not the target. Not even our producer either. Don't go after him. He's a good guy.
Reset coming in for Immortals Progressive. As look at this, coming in from 2 different angles. Chad will hop onto Acadian, using the ultimate onto Acadian. Acadian loses half his health. And now it's Immortals cutting the way in, but now Chad isolated by his lonesome. Vital able to teleport in and show up in the mid lane. Leader is looking to get the execution right here as the solar flare goes off. Chad's still surviving, but he's not going to make it happen twice. The magic will not work out. Down a jungler will be Immortals.
This is a 5v4. This is Acadian and Golden Guardians. Their best way to actually get into it. Leader has his ultimate Concept. Doesn't have rage, but he has his ultimate. Golden Guardians, they need to force a fight, but they don't have teleports. They don't have the tools just quite yet, right? Prismal doesn't have his ultimate. They have about a 10-second window where Prismal will have his ultimate, but Chad can't join them. Golden Guardians have a window, but it's so small.
It's so small right now. Looking at that death timer, 25 seconds left. The call has been made from Golden Guardians. They're heading over towards the Baron. Curse of the Sad Mummy is available. Got to keep that in mind. Cannon Barrage not on the table, Josh, so it's going to rely on a lot of the team fight of Joey for this one, and the barrels of Vital.
Okay, Sandwich Toss, finds Leader. That's a lot of damage.
Oh, Curse of the Sad Mummy gets wasted. Big for Golden Guardians. Will they continue the fight right after? That's a huge team fight resource.
Dead.
Leader's going to hop in. Now Immortal going to go for the retreat. Arrow runs low. Leader's able to shut him down. It's a 1-for-2 trade thus far as Golden Guardians realizing they've eaten too much from Pretty's rocks. Will have to head for the hills, but still able to grab the bot lane of Immortals.
If you're an Immortals fan, this game feels way more tense than you would like it to, right? Yeah. We are in a position already where we see the shades of Immortals so close to winning, but it feels like they're making the same mistakes they've made for weeks on weeks. Chad too far forward. Arrow separated from the rest of his team. No flash available on either of them, and they have to fight for their Elder Dragon in 30 seconds.
Fighting tooth and nail, both of these squads are. Dragon Soul still for Immortals Progressive. Elder Drake will be the next one spawning within the next 20 seconds. Golden Guardians, however, getting the reset earlier here, so they will have some positioning over towards the jungle on the bot end, over towards the river. But what do they do with it? They still need to play the flanking game. Yeah. They still need to win a team fight.
And looking at the map, right, there are some potential flank wards. Leader doesn't have teleport just quite yet, but Leader, we've looked at his side laning, we looked at his ability to play the Akali mechanically. He's been great. But now, you are fighting for Elder, you are fighting for the game, you are trying to find every game you can. And Leader is on a different side of the team than the rest of Golden Guardians, but Golden Guardians,
whoa,
they can threaten to end the game here.
Big call coming out. Leader gets caught out. Curse of the Sad Mummy lands on the Leader. He's going to go golden using the Hourglass. Will try to flash away. Can he hop over the wall in time? Ultimate going to be used. Leader will get to safety, but look inside the base. Inhibitor's going to go down. Concept's able to grab it. Leader still sidestepping a lot of Pretty's onslaught. He's surviving, and he's walking out. Call made over towards the jungle. Here comes the Cyclone, and the play is called by Golden Guardians. Leader still able to stay alive as Pretty's trying to chase him down with the rocks. Looking to rock the world of Leader, but going frozen so far as we look for the fight to continue. A recall was called by Chad. A tough call going both ways onto this one, Josh. This is a coin flip if you've ever seen one.
Golden Guardians, though, they're down their 2 primary damage members, IMT. They don't need to do anything, right? They don't need to force a play just quite yet. They're taking control back. Golden Guardians.
I don't know here. I don't know. Joey, that's a rough spot to be. Joey's getting caught out, but he finally has the backup of his carries, and Pretty's delivering haymakers with these Qs. Able to take one down. Vital's going to show up as well and deliver some barrels. Concept and Acadian forced to run out, but huge picks coming out for Immortals. Still looking for more. Trying to get onto Acadian. Chad, we're going to close this out. Out comes the Cyclone. Vital chasing with those barrels. Cyclone used defensively once again. Elder Drake on the table as Immortals not going to start it off. They're just going straight for the fight as Pretty hops in. Doesn't get the poke onto Concept, but able to land blow number 2. Now Array joins the fray, but Pretty might have bitten off more than he could chew. No, we'll survive. We'll be fine. So close to this fight. Leader now on the flank. He's all by his lonesome though, and this is going to be a tough engage to have to take, but he has the backup of Array. Golden Guardians, they're not going to fall down in this late game. They're still fighting.
Now they're trying to pick up the blue buff, trying to take it away. Leader picks it up. But there's a teleport coming through from Concept. Joey's not there.
He doesn't have Mega
Golden Guardians. It's a small 5v4.
Oh,
he's building a break, but it's gone. Elder's gone.
Elder secured. Elder secured by Immortals. Golden Guardians realizing they've lost this fight. They can't continue, and this is prime time for Immortals.
Surely this is the end, right? Immortals, you have the Ocean Soul, you have the Elder Dragon. Joey potentially getting caught, but there's only one Nexus turret.
Alright, a simple picking coming out. Or is it going to be? Because Vital is getting there quite quickly, and Joey's had a lot of time to get some gold, so he's gotten those defensive stats. He will be fine. Seismic shove comes out from Pretty. Locks down the Akali leader straight to the respawn.
And Immortals 5v4 on the map. The only thing they have to worry about is the minions in their base, and Vital, he's got that covered. You thought he was going to just let that go. No. Golden Guardians are on the brink of going down. Immortals first win in 10 games against the same team. Immortals, they're marching forward. Ocean Soul, Elder Dragon, 5v4. Vital will teleport to them in just a moment.
On the brink. On the brink, as you said, Josh. Golden Guardians looking to find the defense. They've lost an inhibitor, and now transferring that pressure from the bot lane to the mid lane, where you have an inhibitor down for Immortals, pushing in those super minion waves. The oh-so crucial Baron spawning within the next 45 seconds. So the reset coming out for Immortals Progressives as they set up for this Baron.
Feel that? You feel that, Eric? That's the tension.
That's my heartbeat.
So coming out in this game, that's the heartbeat. You can probably still hear it. Oh, I'm so worried. I'm such a big Chad fan, right? Maximilian is such a cool guy. Yeah, he's very funny. He talks a lot of smack on Twitter and elsewhere. But the fact that they don't end the game, they only have 30 seconds left on their Elder Dragon, gives Golden Guardians another chance. Arrow and Chad, the players that Golden Guardians should know that they can try and pick off. That they've been able to separate Acadian. He's been the star. He's gotten Arrow away from the tanks multiple times before. Immortals, they have their battle line set. Golden Guardians have no flank.
45 minutes, Josh, this game has been, and the final fight is looking to happen right now as Acadian steals the Baron! Is it still going to be life for Golden Guardians, though, as suddenly they lose Concept and Acadian? Final defense coming out.
There's no way, right? The last of the Elder Dragon was used to kill Acadian and Concept. There is no way Golden Guardians hold on again.
Go Immortals. They're knocking at the door. Joey just waiting to find a target to get a bandit shot onto. Leader needs to flank Prismal. Needs to get a great engage now. Here comes Pretty, gonna cut the team in half. But Joey, wrong side to be. The tower is able to take him down. Array nets that kill. Leader still looking for this flank though. Still looking for more. So is Prismal. The rest of Immortals, they can't finish the game yet, Josh. We're still going into the deep end.
20 seconds left on Acadian and Concept. Teleport will be up by Concept in about 40 seconds. And Eric,
Josh.
IMT, they don't have the Baron. They've had the Elder Dragon. They're trying to end, but they just aren't able to find the angles to bring him back in. Vital walking forward. He's going to demolish this turret. I mean, he's full build. This gives a little bit of money, but like everybody's basically on full items. But Acadian, the second time he's stolen the objectives right under the nose of Chad, ends up dying to the Elder. At the same time, Concept ends up dying. Like, it looked like he got out dead to the Elder. If we're seeing, again, glimpses of brilliance from so many of our players.
Yeah.
And that's awesome, right? We love watching these players have opportunities to showcase what they can do. I just wish it was in a shorter game.
These kills are almost even, Josh, as we head 3 minutes away from the 50-minute mark at this point.
60 kills. Yeah, Kangas comes in. 60 kills in 47 minutes. There's only one Nexus turret for Immortals to actually have on their base, but they push forward, right? As long as they are grouped up, they move towards the top lane. They take away irrelevant jungle camps at this point, but good job. Good habits to be in. And Immortals, as long as they set up their battle lines, there's nothing Golden Guardians can do. There are no flank wards for Concept or Leader to try and use. Ultimate used by Prismal. Good damage on Pretty, but he'll heal this up in like 20 seconds.
Dragon Soul too good, as that poke really is going to amount to nothing. Oh, Golden Guardians.
Joey.
They're trying so hard to live here. I mean, Immortals, they need this victory so badly, but struggling to close out against Golden Guardians.
There they
and
go.
now Acadian sees the engage. He's going in. Leader goes deep. The Leader gets caught out. Out comes the Mega Ultimate as Vital's able to grab one, but there is the Weaver's Wall, completely cutting out Golden Guardians from fleeing to their base. But Arrow's down, Acadian's down, Concept's down. Is it enough for Immortals to close out?
This is at least a third inhibitor going down, right? You see so many members. Joey trying to prevent Leader from getting back to the base, but he will recall. No ultimates. Golden Guardians, super minions pouring into 2 waves. Another turret goes down.
2 turrets down, last stand. Golden Guardians, can they make it happen? Prismo goes golden, they're going after Chad. Nexus now under attack, losing too much health though. Vital goes down. Guardian Angel's going to be burned away. Array's still going to pop a couple more shots onto him, but Vital returns fire with a barrel and will take down Prismo. And followed by taking down the Nexus in a 48-minute slugfest. Immortal takes game 1.
49 minutes into the game, we finally see Immortals close it out. We warned you guys at the beginning, this is probably not going to be the cleanest League of Legends, but the storylines, the tension in that game, watching the desperate hold coming out from Immortals, or from Golden Guardians rather, towards the end of that, watching Leader and Acadian look for these separations onto Arrow. Again, we're seeing brilliance, moments of brilliance from all of our players. But it's the consistency that we're looking for in the next spot. And congratulations to Immortals breaking their losing streak.
Yeah.
Going up against Golden Guardians.
Again, going against Golden Guardians again. I mean, it was great play from the entirety of the squad, who all showed up at different points of the game. You know, Vital had a pretty solid early game with that Gangplank, getting those solo kills on the Concept. Chad facilitated a lot of these fights against Acadian. Pretty, those picks in the mid-game with the Talia. I mean, everything came together quite well for Immortals, but it was the same on both sides. Both of these teams were very competitive with their members. We're going to take a moment to throw it to a short break, because I am tired after that one. I got to get some water. I got to catch my breath. And we will have Kangas back with our intermission, so be sure to stay tuned.